Despite popular opinion, wanting success is not enough. You need to create the conditions for success. You can want success all day long. You can watch The Secret, you can sit and meditate, but things aren't going to fall in your lap. See, if you're holding on to poor financial habits, you're holding on to poor relationships that actually hurt you instead of help you, or endeavors that don't fit your unique ability, what is there to lead you to success? See, you can want success, work for success, hope for success, and even have a little bit of luck, but success will be ever elusive if you don't create the conditions, environments, and habits to have that success sustain. I was on this radio show for 5 years. We would have 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And we'd bring in some pretty fascinating guests. And every really successful person, I always asked them, like, hey, what are some of the keys that help you to be successful? And I started to discover that all of them had a morning ritual. I was interviewed for a documentary with Hal Elrod on The Miracle Morning. Fantastic book. It's about investing in yourself and starting your day right. Stephen Covey talked about it back in the late 70s. He said, if you take the first half hour of your day and you invest in yourself, it'll transcend and transform the other 23 and a half hours. You could be more productive. So it's really about taking and creating that condition where you can invest in yourself, where you can begin with some exercise, with some education, with some personal enlightenment. That is a producer power hour. So let me break this down into the best way to create awareness, improve and have the conditions, and really build a life that you love because you're living a dialed-in life. So what are 3 things you can commit to do and change today? Well, first, let's start by going through 24 questions called the Soul Purpose Analyzer. This is the key to make sure you have the right environment. Second, we're going to go through that daily ritual and how to set that up properly. And then third, we're going to set yourself up for success the night before. See, the night before you wake up is where this all happens. If you go to bed going like, I think I'll see how I feel in the morning. Look, a lot of times you're not going to feel like getting up because the pillow's so soft, or maybe you're laying next to someone you want to be laying next to. You can go to wealthfactory.com/solution, and it's going to give you these 24 questions to analyze if you're creating the right environment. Now, we were doing a 4-part series on this. So you download that workbook at wealthfactory.com/solution, and then you can go to other videos that we're doing here on YouTube to go through the full soul purpose experience so you can really activate that in your life. You can really dial in passion to be more productive for you and not get led astray. So the first question, you want to rank it 0 through 4. So 0 is you're not doing this at all, 4 is you're totally dialed in, and anywhere in between, now you have that awareness. Am I doing a producer power hour every day? Now you might have just called it a daily ritual or a miracle morning, or are you starting your day before the busyness and chaos, investing in yourself? Now, if you're dialed in on that, doing that every single day, go ahead and do that. I just was at MIT speaking at the alumni house, the Endicott house, to the Gathering of the Titans, and one of the people there, we've been friends, and we've been texting each other to make sure that we're doing our producer power every day. I've actually enhanced it and increased it just through that activity of a quick text to start the day. The second thing is, when you face fear, doubt, worry, anger, or anything that kind of drives scarcity, are you able to practice a principle of non-attachment? Now, non-attachment means, look, you're fully engaged in life, but you don't define who you are based upon every outcome of every meeting, of every plan, of everything you do on a daily basis, because it's a dynamic world with the other people involved. Non-attachment says you don't start beating yourself up, thinking negative thoughts, hurting your self-confidence. You just stay engaged. So someone says something negative about one of my books, I'm like, okay, that wasn't the book for them, but then we get a lot more positive. So I go, is there something I can learn from that and implement, but not actually having that derail my confidence and my productivity? So 0 is you only care about what everyone else thinks and not yourself. A 4 is you're content, you love your life, you love yourself, and you're fully engaged. Number 3, do you implement a daily plan to evolve your consciousness? Now, your consciousness, that could be anything from meditation to gratitude to simply who you're spending time with, to the books that you're reading, to what you're listening to yoga. It depends on who you are. Just watching this video, hopefully this is increasing your consciousness, especially around money, prosperity, and soul purpose. 0 to 4. Number 4, do I know what the people around me think I'm good at, and do I regularly engage in conversations to discover what my talents and passions are? I like going to coffee with someone, or I like sending a letter out maybe once a year and saying, hey, what do you think I'm most uniquely gifted at? Because to me, sometimes I don't see it. I remember having someone pay me for a day of consulting, and then I brought in a journalist to kind of record that day, and I was talking about building a network of writers so that we can get this content out there. And he said, you know, when you were gone, I asked him how much they paid, and when they told me, I asked them what they thought it was worth. They said a lot more than that. Sometimes we just don't see our own value, and when we can catch up with what the marketplace truly values and value ourselves at that level, it's a whole different opportunity for you. So are you engaged with the right conversations and into uncovering and discovering the best of who you are? Are you meditating on a daily basis? There's so many meditations. I start out using Wayne Dyer's Getting in the Gap. I do a thing called the Path of Light and Sound. There's TM, there's mantra-based meditations, there's free downloads, free apps. There is so much around this, but one of the commonalities of the most successful people in the world that are actually happy with their life is that they have a meditation-based practice somewhere in their lives. So do you do that on a daily basis, 0 to 4? I can't score that 4. I'm not always perfectly consistent, but I continue to look to progress on that. Number 6, do you reinforce your declarations by saying them out loud on a daily basis? I don't really say these in the mirror. I just share them with my key relationships. Win Then Play being a perennial bestseller that's on the bookshelves in the next 20 years. That's something I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm engaging them because then they either bring resources or ask for clarity or hold me accountable. So are you declaring your intentions, 0 to 4? Number 7, are you spending time in your hobbies that you're passionate about on a weekly basis? Just yesterday, I picked up the guitar, worked on 3 songs. I'm just looking to learn 20 great campfire songs. Tonight, I'm going to Wise Guys Ogden, and I'm doing a stand-up comedy set. These are things I'm very passionate about. It helps me hopefully be better on video, better as a speaker, but these are also things that kind of relax, rejuvenate, and create some recreation while at the same time developing skill sets. Number 8. Are you studying, identifying, and expressing your soul purpose regularly? Soul purpose is not a place of arrival. It's kind of like a hike and you go through the clouds sometimes and you see a new perspective. You get to a bigger peak. You get more clear about who you are, what you're capable of, as you accomplish things and learn things, and as you meet people, and as you try new things out. You start to increase what you're capable of, but your soul purpose at your core, it's really who you are. The question is, are the things you're doing aligned with that? And what are you doing to further understand what you're capable of? 0 through 4. Number 9. Do you have a clear plan of action for living more in your soul purpose? For me, I'm constantly looking at my calendar and saying, what things can I eliminate and delegate, and what can I do more of? I want to be on camera more. I want to be writing a lot more. I want to be with high-level, great relationships that challenge and teach me. Like, I'm getting more clear about that. And this week, I'm filming this on a Friday, has been the peak week of my life doing just that. So you want to ask, are you having the type of calendar that reflects the person that you are, and what things can you eliminate and which things could you increase? Do you know how to utilize your soul purpose in the marketplace? It's one thing to have capabilities. It's another thing to actually take those capabilities and impact other people's lives. Maybe you need to know things about marketing or have a type of model to put this out there into the world, or just have ways that you can engage where people are writing you a check for what it is that you do. I know people are really good at things, but they only do it for their family, so they never become wealthy with it. So how do you bring that out in the marketplace, right? How good are you at that? 0 through 4. Number 11, do you regularly envision and update what your ideal life looks like? I'm constantly writing in my journals, like, what does life look like? What's the life that I love? What are the activities I'm doing? Who are the people I'm spending time with? What are the things that I'm working on? What are those projects that inspire me? So this is simply having the right intention combined with attention, so you're taking the actions that lead towards the right results. Number 12, do you regularly identify and eliminate energy drains in your life? Is that people? Is that projects? What things can you delegate? What things can you eliminate? But there's energy drains that we have. So I just don't want to be in certain types of conversations. One simple way I eliminated some energy drains was sometimes I come home and my wife wants to talk about certain things going on with the kids or plans that we're making. We just created a weekly meeting to do that. So now I can do it when I'm fresh, first thing in the morning, versus at the end of a long day, or maybe I just traveled and there's all these items that are kind of piling up that can create contention. We just set up a weekly meeting. So that's one example of how to eliminate an energy drain. 13, do you take the time to regularly educate yourself in regards to your soul purpose? Is it masterminds? Is it books? Is it podcasts? Is it mentors? Like, what is it you're doing to invest into your soul purpose? Number 14, do you pray on a daily basis? right? And depending on your beliefs, whether you call it God or the universe or whatever it is, are you actually praying? Because we like to pray before we film a lot of times because we like to set those right conditions. Number 15, do you create value for yourself and others using your sole purpose on a regular basis? I love being up on stage. I love writing. I love creating workbooks. I love having conversations with people that are thinking in big ways because it really engages my sole purpose. It brings out the best of who I am. Number 16, do you have conversations with mentors on a regular and frequent basis? Are these regular calls that show up on a weekly basis or every other week? Or are there things that you're doing on a quarterly basis because you want to create those conditions to be habits and rhythms that are automatically called in your life versus having them crowded out through busyness? Number 17, do you avoid negative and/or victimhood conversations by transforming them into positive ones? I did a video on the top five things that broke people say that keep them broke. So are you in the right types of conversations? Be careful with those people that are constantly in victimhood, trying to drag you down or bring you into a conversation that makes you feel, uninspired or frustrated or defeated. 18, do you practice a daily routine specifically dedicated towards gratitude? I love the 5-minute journal. Even when I drive my young son Roman to school, I ask him 3 things he's grateful for, 3 things that are a great intention to have an amazing day, and what's best about him. We just have these conversations. So how can you have a gratitude life? If you're ever deeply down in the dumps, the best thing I've seen to have people transform that is write 101 things you're grateful for. And you might have to get creative when you're really in difficult spots. I'm grateful for trees. I'm grateful for air. I'm grateful that there's a sky. It's just simply going through it. It starts to rewire, and I think you should hand write that. Make sure that your thumb and finger is touching an actual pen. No technology, just write it on a piece of paper. Number 19, to what degree do you feel you're currently living your sole purpose? 0 to 4. Number 20, do you regularly seek out contact and association with strong force attractor people who bring out the best in you? This is where you look at who are your friends, people you can share your life with, they support you, they're your cheerleaders, and who should you be friendly with? Those people that are detrimental, dramatic, negative, and dislike everything, limit your time there. Number 21, do you know how to make your life simpler rather than more complicated? Simplicity is an art form. And the more simple you could be about the things that you choose to do, the more profound and powerful it becomes. Distraction, busyness, overcommitment, this is a crux to the world today and noise that crowds out sole purpose. Number 22, do you understand and utilize the law of vibration and attraction? Now, vibration and attraction is sowing and reaping. It requires action. It's not just positive thinking. It's not just, meditating and everything goes well. It's putting out the right intention congruent with who you are at the core. And then you're raising your vibration and your energy because of the things that you choose to do that energize you, and then taking action congruent with those. Number 23, do you feel you have the power to choose who you want to be and be whoever that is, right? Is there anything holding you back? If there is, you're going to score lower. And the final one here is, do you consistently make choices that are aligned with your values? Are your values your guide? That's a critical piece. Your messes in life are when you let people in that don't share values. The things that are so destructive and that destroy time and confidence are when people don't share values, even though they have talent. Even though they might be great people, they might value things very differently than you. I once had someone, their value was quantity and mine was quality when it came to my organization. We were constantly at battle. We were constantly at odds because it was different values. She was talented and amazing, but the bottom line is because of that values mismatch, we had to part ways, and when we did, things got better for both of us. So you're going to accumulate your score. You're marking 0 through 4 on question 1 through 24. That score is you go to wealthfactory.com/solution. There's a guide there, but now you have this awareness. So just tackle one thing at a time. What is one thing that you could do today to increase one score on there? You're not trying to get all the way perfect tomorrow. You're just taking a step in the right direction. Once that's integrated, look at the next step, and you're going to inch your way towards the right success. You're going to create the right environments to live your sole purpose. And this is something that if you just did this for the next year would transform the rest of your life. It's not something like retirement planning that takes 30 years. It's not hard work forever. It actually just creates conditions for you to enjoy life more along the way. So look at those scores and then just come back and revisit this. We've got other great videos on this, but now you know how to create the right environment and conditions.